Hey everybody, and welcome back. Now let's go ahead and jump into creating this login functionality. Now I do want to note when we're setting up the logic for this login button, this is not going to require users to authenticate their email before they log in. What that means is you can type in an email address and a password and click create an account. It will not let a user log in if the password is incorrect. However, they will still be able to log in without authenticating that email address. Now, if you want to learn more about how to actually require those rules and authentication before a user logs in, check out that Udemy course. The individual who made that, which I have in the description, did an excellent job kind of walking through securing endpoints and that security piece in more detail. Right now, we're basically just requiring an email address and the same password that was used when the user signed up. So if you have any questions, check out that Udemy video. Now let's go ahead and set up the logic for this login button by copying over some information. If you seem a little confused, check out the previous video in this series or in this playlist. We actually created everything you see here and this little sign up button. This has some logic we're actually going to copy over now. So I'm going to show you the final product. Again, looks a little ominous. Let's go ahead and minimize this just to show you this is the final product. So we're going to click on the sign in button, and you just saw all of the logic for it. So we're going to recreate this. You may notice some of these, like the if conditions, look a little familiar. We're actually going to copy these. So you're going to click on don't have an account, click here to sign up, or whatever your text was. We're going to expand this a little bit. And we're going to highlight and copy over, let's just say, this part right here. And we'll hit Control or Command C. You'll see the nodes are copied. So we can minimize this a tad. And now we're going to click on the login button. And you have to kind of click in here a little and hit paste. And then we'll move these and push them right here. So let's make sure we have everything. So we have an if condition, the two dialogues, and then the data for sign in. So we have an if condition, the dialogues, and then the data sign in. Now I probably need these, but I'm going to delete them just to kind of make everything look like it should and kind of match. So we have that HTTP request, which is the same thing as this data sign-in option. And then we're going to set the app variable and items to storage. So we are going to do that now. So we're going to go ahead and set item to storage. So we need 2 set item to storage and 1 app variable. So set item to storage, these you could probably copy over as well, but I just kind of want to make sure I'm walking through this with you. Then over in core, we have set app variable, if you remember. So we're going to make sure we have this correct so far. So we have a set app variable, 2 set items to storage, 2 toast dialogues. Now we will scroll down just a tad and we'll click on this one and just hit Control C and paste, and then paste again, just so we can make this a little easier on ourselves. So we are going to paste the 2 right here. And then you'll see we have all of these 3 connected to this node, and then we're going to dismiss initial view. What does that mean? So dismiss initial view means we're basically going to be getting rid of the login page and going to the home page. So that means that option is selected when everything else has been validated. So the email address and everything else is correct. So if you type in flow function market, you can type in dismiss, which is actually usually an option that's already pre-installed. So what you're going to do is click out of it, and we're going to try to find that dismiss initial view option. And if we can't find it, what we can do is we can just look at installed, and we're just going to drag over dismiss initial view. So let's make sure everything looks correct here. If condition, the 2 dialogues, that's the case here as well. And then a data sign-in connected to 2 dialogues on the bottom. So we have the data, 2 dialogues below it. Then we have our variable and 2 storage options. We have our variable and 2 storage options, and then dismiss initial view. So let's get started connecting things. So you have the dialog here and the dialog here. So all of this was copied over and is connected. Next up, we're going to connect all of these 3 to the same node, just like we did previously. And again, the nodes can be a little tricky just because they're a little smaller. And then what we're going to do is dismiss initial view. And then if anything goes wrong, so I have a dialog here, and if anything happens, basically I'm connecting these two nodes just because if anything happens other than this being validated, I want a notification. So let's go ahead and look over here and see if everything looks correct, which it does. So this is what you should have now at this point. So you should have this logic or these flows set up. So let's go ahead, as we've done previously, let's set these all up. I'm going to space them out just a tad, just to kind of make it a little easier for you all to digest. This is a little ominous as it is. So your page should look like this, just without all of the extra text. So the if condition for the first one, you copied over, which is correct. Is email, that option is the same, no change. And then the toast dialog is incorrect email. And then I put check formatting / remove spaces only because an email address like a@a.com with a space at the end will flag it as being an incorrect email. Then we have the next one, which is the exact same. You can click here and click on formula. You'll see not is empty page var credential password. That's the same as it was before. And then in the toast dialog, I just put incorrect password. Next, we're going to go to data sign in. Now this one, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the little formula button or the button there. And here's where we're going to change things up a little bit. So you notice the text here is sign in with password. So we have to go over to our REST API docs, and we're going to hit Control F and put with, and you may actually just have to type password. So you'll see sign in with email / password over here. And then we're just going to make sure this looks correct. So sign in with password $key. That looks correct. You'll see sign in with password $key. So what you're going to do in the docs under this section here, you'll see we have the return secure token, ID token, the refresh token, all the things we needed from before. So we're going to copy this section, everything to the left of the brackets with the API key. So go ahead and Command C or Control C. Go over here, and in the double quotes, you're going to paste that URL right here. And then close the double quotes, space plus space, and then your appvars.api key, just like we did in the previous video. And you're going to save that. Don't close it like I did. So what we'll do, again, you just click on the URL, formula, type it all in, click save. HTTP method is post. And then you don't have any headers, but you do need the request body, just like we did earlier. So you're going to type this out exactly as you see it here. I'll basically just read it out. So it's a curly bracket, the word email, semicolon space, pagevars.credentials.email, comma space, password semicolon space, your pagevars.credentials.password, comma space, then your return secure token with the S and the T capitalized, semicolon space true, and then your curly bracket. You'll click save. So that's your request body. Make sure that your request body type is JSON. And that's everything for sign in. Then your two sign in toast messages, I just put email or password incorrect. That way if anything goes wrong, they just get kind of like a generic this isn't right message. Then we're going to go over to set app variable. We're going to click on the little app icon, click app variable, and we're choosing the ID token option from here. And then your assigned variable, you'll select here, click on formula, and similar text to what we saw before, don't worry if you get an error. So it's outputs, bracket, double quote, sign in with a capital S, capital I, and then your double quote bracket dot res body with a capital B, bracket single quote ID underscore token, single quote bracket. You'll click save, don't close out. So again, make sure that your info is correct and click save here. Make sure the variable is set to the ID token with a capital T. If you're questioning that, again, it's this response payload here. So it's this stuff down here. Now, next, we are almost done. We're clicking set item to storage. The item key is here. So it's ID capital T token. So ID token with a capital T. Data to store. Click on the button here, click on formula, click on Formula, and this is outputs, bracket, double quote, sign in with a space and a capital S, capital I, double quote, bracket, dot res body with a capital B. Again, this is response body. Brackets, single quotes, and ID underscore token in the middle, and click save. Again, case sensitive, make sure everything looks like this, and click save. So basically we're saving an ID token, data to store, outputs, so you have everything set up here. And then this next one is your refresh tokens. So refresh, capital T tokens, so refresh token. Click here, click formula, and same thing as it was before. We're going to click and type outputs, brackets, double quotes, sign in, capital S, capital I with a space, dot res body with a capital B, brackets, single quotes, refresh underscore token, and click save. And then last option is navigation, dismiss initial view. And when this flow is completed, what happens is if there's a valid email, valid password, then we're going to go ahead and sign in, which means we're setting the app variable and setting items to storage, and then we're dismissing the initial view. That's all there is to it. So you're going to copy everything that we just did into this section here, and when you're done, you'll click save, and now you can test it out. So basically, when you go to log in, so we're going to click on launch, open app preview, and when you're here, you click Coffee Canine. In your case, it would be whatever your app is. You'll notice the page comes up really big. We can click on inspect, so right click, click inspect like we did earlier. And here you can view it as it would be in a mobile browser. So you could type in, for example, I know that I have an account that I used in the preview earlier. So we can type in that and click sign in. And it takes you to your home page. So that worked. So that is all good to go. Now, if you had any issues, you could click open. Let's type in a different password. So a@a.com. And we're just going to type in something that's not the same password. Click sign in. You'll see email or password incorrect. So the validation part worked out exactly as we wanted it to. If anything didn't work for you, go back and review the video. Try not to copy and paste nodes and logic too much. It's really easy to get confused. Again, just make sure everything matches up what I have here. If you have any questions, again, I highly recommend this Udemy page here. This individual who created this, again, I'm not affiliated with them, not being endorsed by them, but I think that this is a great resource. Some of the information in this video overlaps as far as like getting secure tokens and ID tokens and all of that, but the application this individual makes is completely different in its actual like use case. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below. But now that we've created the create new account and sign up buttons, let's go ahead and get into the exciting part itself, which is actually building out the app once the user signs in. So that's going to be in the next video. I'll see you all there.